Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Evan and Tiki. Tiki is hanging out with Derek Jeter today.
And Michael Strahan.
And Michael Strahan and other celebrities on some beautiful island. I forgot where. So Tiki is off today. He'll be back in a couple of days. We've got a ton to discuss. I have compiled my list of New York Jets defensive coordinators. We'll get to it later. Why we should hate Edwin Díaz a little bit less today with some new information. And we've got the answer to the banter situation regarding the New York Knicks. But we start with the very quiet, like a church mouse, New York Yankees. And I mentioned this to you last week. I think you agreed. All the talk around the Mets has actually kind of laid off Brian Cashman a little bit, where he hasn't faced that much heat. Because here we are in the middle of December, and the Yankees have done very, very little. They did bring back Ahmed Rosario a couple of days ago. They did lose Devin Williams. Obviously, Trent Grisham at the beginning of this offseason. And so really the Yankees still have a lot of work to do. And here's the way I figure. They have about $20 to $25 million to spend if we assume they are not going to blow past their payroll of a year ago. And we also assume that they're not drastically cutting payroll.
Right.
So I'm going to take that assumption that they're doing neither. They have about $20 to $25 million to spend. And while signing Michael King or adding a pitcher, there's nothing wrong with that because pitching is good and you never have enough pitching. The lineup to me needs to be the priority for more than the obvious. It's more than just if they lose Cody Bellinger, how do you replace him? It's also Aaron Judge had another historic year last year. There's no guarantee he's going to do that again. So how do you maintain? I'm not even saying get better because the Yankees had the best offense in baseball last year. How do you maintain that offense when you're going to lose Cody Bellinger, probably get a little bit less production out of Trent Grisham, Jazz Chisholm they're listening on? Like, offense to me, if I only have 20 to 25 mil to spend, has to be my priority.
Yeah, well, I mean, the priority has to be not losing Cody Bellinger first and foremost to make that work. Evan, here's the truth. I don't want to hear another word about you can never have too much starting pitching, and the Yankees need to add more starting pitching if they are truly on that budget like you brought up. No matter what happens here, now I guess obviously another injury could poke up. Max Fried will be ready. Luis Heel will be ready if he's not traded. Of course, Will Warren is still there, and Cam Schlittler is still there. And you can manufacture the beginning of the year and buy time until Rodon and Cole come back. The truth is, that's enough starting pitching to start a year, and you assume when those guys get back, you should have more than enough, although I understand you never have enough. The focus has to be on offense because you are playing, what's the saying? You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
I think I said that about the Mets situation, but sure, you can use it for the Yankees as well.
Did you? Maybe that's why it's in my head. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Guess what happened last year during the middle of the year? Aaron Judge got hurt with that UCL injury. We always know Giancarlo Stanton is good for an IL stint or two. You're putting a lot of stock in Ben Rice as your young first baseman, that's going to go absolutely smoothly, and that if he's playing first base every day, of course you don't expect Austin Wells to slump. How the hell do you survive next year without adding a big bat to this offense? I'd love to know. And that's also assuming that Trent Grisham has the same year as last year.
Well, no, I agree with you about that because last year, as much as maybe we didn't feel it watching them all season long, the Yankees scored more runs than any other team in the American League, and they did it by about 50 runs.
Yep.
So a pretty good clearing of the Toronto Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox. If you look at their current roster, you've got Aaron Judge coming back. Aaron Judge hit 53 home runs last year, hit .331 won a batting title, and had an 1,100 OPS. While I do not think Aaron Judge is going to get hurt or he's going to miss half the season or anything crazy like that, I also think that those numbers at some point are just not going to be there. And what I mean by that is Aaron Judge next year could hit .285, hit 45 home runs, and have a .980 OPS, which is really good.
Really good.
But not nearly as good as a year ago. So I almost have to assume that Aaron Judge is going to have to move down just a tad. Not because I'm being negative towards him, but just because of the reality that he has been so historic over the last couple of years that at the age of 34, there's going to be some years that aren't quite as good as others.
Well, not only
I have to assume that.
I assume that too, but even if you didn't assume that, even if you assumed the other part of this, Evan, which was it's another unbelievably ungodly Aaron Judge year, if he was Batman last year, Who do you think was robbing? It was Cody Bellinger.
No, you're right. So let's go to him. So
Okay.
Cody Bellinger, it is still up in the air. Like, I think it's 50-50 as we sit here today on if they're going to be able to re-sign him or not. Last year, he had 29 home runs, drove in 98 runs, had an 800 OPS. Two things about Cody Bellinger. Number one, no guarantees back. And number two, if you bring him back, his track record tells you there's no guarantees putting up those numbers.
Correct.
In fairness.
I agree.
Because Cody Bellinger, and this is one of the negatives, and I'm sure Met fans will get into it too, he's been up and down over the last couple of years. So whether you retain Cody Bellinger or you don't, there are questions on him matching his numbers. Trent Grisham, you talked about. Trent Grisham had 34 home runs last year, had an 800 OPS. Is he doing that again?
That's the one guy in the lineup, and this is why it goes back to the whole, giving him the qualifying offer and everything went into it. That is the one guy when we talk about, can Bellinger do it? Can Judge do it? Can Stanton do it? That, I think, is the one guy that's the hardest lean on. There's no way he replicates that because his career would tell you there's no way. You at least have track records of seasons with Bellinger and Judge where you can envision it happening again.
Now, in fairness, there are guys, specifically Jason Dominguez, even Ben Rice, who had a really good year last year, and a guy like Austin Wells, who I would project are going to have better offensive seasons.
Okay.
I also think they'll get more production out of third base just by accident because Oswald Peraza was a 180 hitter before they moved on with Ryan McMahon.
Yeah,
Same thing
but not a drastic increase. McMahon's still a very light bat.
I disagree with you. I think a difference between 170 and 210 is drastic.
Okay. Overall, though, the left side of the infield in general is a big fat zero offensively.
But would you not agree that it should be better? You're right. It's not overall good if I'm ranking it against other teams, but let's keep in mind last year Anthony Volpe at 212 and struck out 150 times. And before Ryan McMahon was acquired, Oswald Peraza, and I apologize. I want to apologize to the audience. I overstated it. He actually only hit 152.
Yeah. So that was bad. But remember, though,
they should be better on the left side of the infield by accident.
By accident, but they also got a great first month from Cabrera, who was out of the world before he got hurt.
Who is now coming back.
Who's coming back.
And that's where I can see more being produced from their offense. But there's a lot where you're not going to see the same. And that gets me to Jazz Chisholm. Brian Cashman said the other day he's open-minded to trading Jazz Chisholm. Now, I think open-minded is a great word. I used that about Francisco Lindor last week. We talked yesterday about the Giant quarterback situation.
You used it about Lou Gower leaving the show.
I wasn't open-minded. It was something else.
Oh, okay.
But open-minded is fine. Like, I don't want to panic over open-minded. I want to have a discussion about open-minded. If I'm trading Jazz Chisholm, who went 30-30 last year, and we just laid out where the Yankee offense can regress, and there's no guarantee Cody Bellinger is back, you better be getting me something really good. Because when you look at the rest of the infield, we just went over shortstop and third base. How could you just subtract 31 and 80 and 30 stolen bases and an 800 OPS? Now, again, I'm open-minded, Brian. If you're telling me there's something worthwhile coming back?
Yeah, like you're getting a Rise and Tatis in the same deal back? Sure.
Well, Luis Arraez is a free agent, so you could just sign him.
I've screwed that up. I'm sorry. I assumed he was still a Padre. My bad.
Yes, if Jazz Chisholm is a part of a package for Fernando Tatis Jr., we're all good.
By the way, you hear nothing about Arraez as a free agent,
because no one likes him. He does one thing well. Hits for a high average, doesn't strike out, and stinks at everything else.
There's something to be said about that, though.
No,
it's a pretty good thing to do well.
No, I understand. And if you trade Jazz Chisholm, you could simply sign a guy like Luis Arraez and make him your second baseman, but you're losing a lot of pop. And so, again, I'm open-minded about moving Jazz Chisholm, but I want to maintain my offense if I'm the New York Yankees from a year ago. I got to maintain this. I can't go backwards. And right now, with guys on your team, there are a few guys that should go backwards, a few guys that maybe you'll get more production from. Jazz Chisholm hit 31 home runs last year. In fact, Jazz hit 31 and Cody Bellinger hit 29.
He actually hit 32.
32?
He hit 1 in the home run derby.
That does not count. But nice try. So that could be 60 home runs you're trying to replace. And that's where, open-minded or not, I want to at least maintain or add to my offense and not subtract from it.
It's impossible not to argue. And what that can happen here is when we get to spring training, if they lose out on Bellinger, I'm not even entertaining the idea of Tucker because I assume they're just not interested at all because he hasn't even taken a meeting with them. You can't have Brian Cashman sit at that podium in mid-February and talk about how they expect to get that offensive production simply by Ben Rice taking another step forward and Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones, who I do want to see and I'm excited about. but that's just asking way too much from unknowns. There has to be a move. And if you're down to every last cent and every last dollar, I don't want to hear about Michael King. I don't even right now want to hear about Luke Weaver returning, even though there was reports about that today. Every dime, if you are rubbing these pennies together, has to go towards maintaining this offense.
Well, but there's a way to maintain this offense without it being Cody Bellinger. Like,
okay, what do you got?
What I have is any of the young infielders, like Bo Bichette specifically.
Okay.
Alex Bregman, not quite as young, and certainly the price tag may be higher.
They weren't in on Bregman last year. What makes you think they'd be this year?
I don't think they will be. I'm telling you, I can continue to maintain my offense while losing Cody Bellinger if I take my assets and actually move it more towards the infield. Because, again, you just talked about it. The infield has holes all over the place.
It's just when you go back and look at what the 2009 George is rolling over in his grave. Okay, the 2009 Yankees infield and look at this Yankees infield.
A-Rod, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira.
Look at this now.
No, I get you. So that's how you can do it. And I'm not saying the Yankees are going to do it. Like, there's a big difference, as we always talk about. There's a difference between what I would do, what a caller would do, what Shaun would do, what Tiki would do, and what we think the Yankees are going to do. Yeah. I'm okay losing Cody Bellinger if I'm taking that money and I'm adding somebody to my infield so that I'm not overly reliant on Ryan McMahon and Oswaldo Cabrera and Jose Caballero, who, by the way, are all nice players, but they're all flawed players. And they're all guys that's tough to rely on to get 500 or 600 plate appearances.
Here's the scary part. You're bringing up a totally rational, hey, if you lose Cody Bellinger, you could do this, this, and this. It certainly feels like to me, the Yankees are so fixated on the idea of like Cody Bellinger, maybe it's them, maybe it's the Mets. I don't get the vibe they have any sort of true backup plan that involves spending money if they do lose him. And for a Yankee fan perspective, it scares the living daylights out of me.
No, I get you.
Wait, like you're saying all rational things. There's been zero breadcrumbs of any of these players linked to the Yankees.
No,
zero.
But I think what you need to do about that during this offseason is take a deep breath. Like, I think
the Red Sox are meeting with everybody just for their backup plans.
No, I get that. I'm saying the healthiest response to an offseason is not to get too crazy about rumors, but get crazy about the results. So when Cody Bellinger leaves, if he does, or some of the other players that the Yankees aren't linked to signs elsewhere, I say go nuts. I say go crazy. But the one thing about the offseason is there are rumors for misleading reasons. And I gave this example briefly yesterday.
They call that rumors and innuendo.
That's what they do call that. Conrad, the mortgage guy, is the one who created that phrase.
Oh,
yeah.
Was he?
You don't know who he is.
I have no idea.
He hosts the greatest podcast ever created.
The Joe Rogan Show?
No, that's the second best podcast.
One Giant Step?
That's the fourth greatest podcast.
Okay. Talking Giants?
Talking Giants is 12th, actually.
What about the Rico Bronya?
15th.
Okay. What about Lou Gower's Knicks podcast? He never started.
Doesn't have one
That's
yet. Right. What was I going to say again?
Conrad Hamilton.
Oh, no. His name is not Hamilton. The point is, just because the Yankees are linked to somebody doesn't mean they're actually going after them. And just because the Yankees aren't linked to somebody doesn't mean they aren't. Keep that in mind. This is rumor season. This is crazy season. So, for example, I don't think the Yankees are seriously pursuing Michael King. I don't.
I don't either.
I think that Michael King is, according to Jack Curry, he said this 3 weeks ago, not about King specifically, but about the Yankees being linked and used in the marketplace. They're being used. Michael King is probably getting offers from the Orioles and the Red Sox and who knows who else and wants the Yankees involved to drive up interest. So I personally don't buy that rumor, but I also think, just to make you feel better, just because the Yankees haven't been attached to certain players doesn't mean they're not quietly talking to those certain players. And I'll tell you a name specifically that I've warmed up to that I also think would be a really good addition to try to maintain the offensive production from last year.
Okay.
And the problem with a name like this is we're all going to say, come on, Ev, you don't know what this guy's going to be. But if you read the description of him, I think he makes sense, and that's Kazuma Okamoto, the third baseman / first baseman from Japan.
Okay.
He's 29 years old. He's a right-handed hitter. He plays third base, and he plays first base. And if you look at his production in Japan, he's had 5 years in which he hit over 30 home runs, had OPSs in the 900s, and again, a right-handed hitter who can play third base and first base. What a concept for a team that's going to go into the start of the year relying on Ryan McMahon and Ben Rice.
Now, remind me again, is this the Japanese player that can't hit fastballs over 93 miles an hour?
Though that's Murakami, and that report is not true.
It's not true.
The data on that is not accurate. You're talking about Munetaka Murakami, who is more of a defensive liability.
Okay.
And will probably project as a DH over here and could put up massive numbers. But Okamoto's very different. Okamoto's a right-hand hitter who defends at a very high level.
Okay.
Doesn't have the prodigious power that Murakami has, but he also doesn't swing and miss nearly as much.
So nice contact, doubles in the gap kind of hitter?
Well, he had 41 home runs in 2023.
All right, see, now I'm interested. Why are we not hearing about this? When's the posting date?
Nobody is linked to him right now. This is what I'm talking about with rumors. Like, I keep Googling to find out what the hell's going on.
And by the way, not a bad thing to get back in the Japanese market and show that not everybody has to be a Dodger.
And not a bad thing to improve your infield. Like,
sure.
I like Cody Bellinger. I think we all do. And if money was no object, bring him back, bring Okamoto in, let's go to town. But if the way I started the show is true, where they really only have about $20 to $25 million to spend, I do think a right-handed hitting infielder who's a plus defender, who could turn out to be a better offensive player than Cody Bellinger, actually makes more sense. So to me, Yankee fans, it's not Cody Bellinger or bust. It's I got to replace his production or bust.
I'd be
you know what I mean?
I'd be motivated to sign him at that point.
I'm glad I sold you.
Yeah.
Do you need me to laugh every time you make that joke, or can we just move on?
I didn't make a joke.
No, you didn't make a motivated.
Oh, that just came
Don't
to me.
play this game off.
No, you're playing a game.
I didn't know what I said.
Sometimes they just come out, Evan.
By the way,
You did sell me on that, though. That is interesting.
we haven't decided on the day of the week yet, but we have been collecting Shaun Morash puns. I have a whole list right in front of me. I'm going to add the motivated to it. And we just need to figure out which day of the week we should use to rank your puns.
Okay, we got to get them in, too, because that was part of my new deal for 2026. I was told to phase those out. Don't do them anymore.
Who said that?
That's just what I heard.
Phase them out?
I was told. Upper management. My meetings.
Really?
Yeah, phase
They
them
didn't
out.
like that about you.
They said be a professional.
Interesting.
So I'm getting them all in now.
What day of the week would you like us to re-rank all your puns? You want it on? I mean, a Friday I don't love as much because we already do idiots with idioms.
Yeah, sure.
So I feel like it's got to be a different day of the week.
Okay, but here's the problem. There's not many of these days left with all of us.
What are you all dying?
We put all of us doing a show together?
Who cares about all of us? No offense to Tommy. The show's going to continue when he's doing nights.
Yeah, he means the new year, dummy.
in the new year?
Yes. What we're going extinct in a week?
No, I thought that was part of this afternoon show.
No, it's a part of the show. Just because we're moving to a different time slot doesn't mean we change everything.
Ask friends about that.
Cinco de Luncho is a morph of Cinco de Five-O. You're going to be the same annoying self. Tiki's going to be Tiki. I'm me. Like, what do you think happens at 10 a.m.? We morph into, like, Cinderella?
When the show Doug moved to a Saturday morning cartoon, Mr. Swirly left the truck and opened up his own ice cream stand. Things change, okay?
What Sean is trying to say is we'll be canceled by 2027.
Oh, listen.
Good thing I signed a multi-year contract.
You know what, Evan, I've realized? You pick the date. I'll be there.
You know what, Tommy, as your last, like, major decision, what day of the week should Sean's puns from the week be ranked?
Wednesdays.
Wednesdays?
I like it. Midweek. Good for football season.
I
Little
like
break in the action.
Midweek pun day.
Yep.
Midweek.
I like that.
Coincides with ratings week's ending.
That's very true.
How about that?
Look, he's learned so much about radio in the last couple of years.
Radio professional.
We'll get to your phone calls coming up, Yankee fans. If they've got about $25 million to spend, and that's just a guess, because look, Hal Steinbrenner could certainly go over. What is the priority? The weird thing to me is when you sign a pitcher, whether it's Michael King or anybody else, there's nothing negative about adding pitching. Like pitching. You never have enough pitching. And you can sit here all day and assume this guy will be healthy and that guy will be healthy. You never know. So if news broke today and I was dead wrong about Michael King and the Yankees sign him, I understand you saying I'd rather spend my money elsewhere, but you can't deny that signing pitching is a good thing for your baseball team.
It is under normal circumstances. The Yankees, unfortunately, have declared they are no longer a normal circumstance.